Hey, welcome back. Today I want to discuss diabetic emergencies. And, I've discussed this kind of through every situation. But today I want to take a little, let's do a refresher on it. First of all, diabetic emergencies can happen to anyone. They can happen if you're the best controlled diabetic in the world. So don't let things go, oh, it'll never happen to me. That's what I used to think. Now, we know, first of all, hypoglycemia, and you hear the low in it. Low, means that your body has too much insulin. Now, it's whether you took your insulin and you didn't eat, or you gave yourself too much insulin, or your pump's malfunctioning. I won't ever say that I've never had a pump malfunction. Well, not so much that, I was using it. There have been times where my pump's gone into an emergency and they had to ship me a new one. Type 1 diabetes is a mystery, and sometimes you will get low. Now, a low, if you are still feeling the symptoms, are, you're sweating, your heart's palpitating, boom, 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 boom. And for a lot of people, they say when they hear the heart palpitating, they can hear it in their ears. I used to get, when I used to feel things, I used to get it around the mouth. It started to tingle. Later in life, I would get this hand going numb. And it went so bad that my eyesight, sorry, I got two trains going, that my eyes would see double. Now, when you're low, treat it. Don't sort of say, oh, well, I'll start feeling better in a moment. Because your body can make you go low like that. You could be at gym class, you could be, writing a test, and your blood sugar drops. If that's the case, give quick-acting sugar. Now, they used to say half a can of Coke. It's okay. Hard candies, fruit juice, those packaged sugar treatments. Wait 15 minutes and do it again. For someone like me, that's not always going to work. So you want to make sure that you have glucagon. Glucagon is kind of the opposite to insulin. Glucagon is a hormone that raises your blood sugar. And how does it do that? Well, when you put a glucagon hormone, it lets your liver release some of its stored sugars. Now, your liver kind of holds on to sugars that you eat, and this is stored and let go, in the fight or flight reflexes. So, don't overdo it. Like people seem to think, and I know I was difficult, that when I had a low, I would just keep eating until I felt better. But then you end up with a straight up after, and that's not great to go either. So your diabetic high, your diabetic low needs to be treated as quickly as possible. Now, sometimes the diabetic low happens so quickly and you pass out or you can't wake up, or if that's the case, you should be calling emergency medical 911 in Canada. I think in Britain it's 999. Make sure that you get the help you need. Now, if this is a severe low, out of the blue, you don't know why it's happened, whatever, head to the hospital. Usually you're going to need medical intervention from paramedic, and they'll probably suggest you go to the hospital. Good idea. Let's find out what's caused that. You may have infection or getting over an infection, but take care of yourself. Go get it checked out. For myself, I don't always go in because for me it's kind of like, okay, we did the blood test, everything's fine, you can go home. To me, my body is so up and down that I know why. It's my body, so I eat. After I've had emergency services here, I'll wake up at 4 in the morning and do a blood test. If you don't feel safe, go to the hospital. Now, the other real big emergency is hyperglycemia. And hyperglycemia will happen when your body has too much sugar. Either you gave too little insulin, ate too much, have an illness. Then you want to make sure you're drinking water. You want to get as much of the sugar out of your body. Now, if you go into DKA, let's stop there. DKA is an emergency and needs to be treated. A lot of times DKA comes from high blood sugars. And if you've been running high for a few days and then, you started vomiting or diarrhea and you're really sick and you don't know why, a little clue I was always sort of told, and I don't know how accurate it is, but is if you don't have a fever, chances are it's diabetes related. If you have a fever, you could be sick, just as the same as every other person. So, what do you want to do? Ketones require insulin to get rid of it. So that means you need to treat with whatever insulin dose your doctor has planned. This is where your diabetic plan comes to fruition, or follow your doctor's orders. Now, first of all, if your blood sugar is climbing, you've done a ketone test, and it's small to trace, call your doctor. If they go to high, medium, moderate, or heavy, call your doctor. In this situation, whether you're sick or your diabetes is going crazy, you may need to go see a doctor. And I can remember my old endocrinologist, which I had for years. I was in the hospital, I believe, and I went to her office, And I walked in there and she said, "You're in DKA." Like, she didn't do any testing. She just knew. Because with DKA, your bodies will release an odor that's, I've heard it referred to as stale juicy fruit gum, stale wine. So, if you're heading that way, go to your doctor. If you can't get a hold of your doctor, go to emergency. High blood sugar is an emergency. Low blood sugar is an emergency. If you don't feel you can handle it, go to emergency. But nowadays, a lot of it can be handled at home. There's glucagon you can take. There's some in the nose or a shot that will help you raise your blood sugar. Don't be afraid and utilize them if you need them. Now, obviously, if you give glucagon and you're not low, you're just going to be high later. There's so much diabetes out there, and a lot of it is type 2. So type 1 diabetics, a lot of people say, just take your insulin, you'll be fine. But you have to watch out for these situations. Diabetes is an emergency. People think, oh, well, it's not that important. If you don't take care of yourself, you could be opening yourself up for many other complications. So don't let it get that far. Treat your diabetes and continue on. Now, I've said this before in videos, and I think it's important that we discuss it here. Diabetic emergencies are treatable at home. A lot of times they are. And then you can phone your doctor the next day and say, hey, I had severe low. If you come out of a diabetic emergency quickly, great. If you can't, then you need to go to the hospital. Ketoacidosis is diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA. It's terrible. When they get you back on the road to recovery, it takes you so long to really get, I am so tired after a high. Nice prompt, isn't it? That a lot of times, I just want to sleep now. But soon, once your blood sugars come down, your body's not producing ketones anymore, you'll start to feel better. And you need to do a little kind of investigation on yourself. What did I do that caused it, or what caused the DKA? Could be an illness, could be an infection, could be you overate, could be you didn't take enough insulin. I'm not saying it's all your fault, but I just investigate so you learn, and it's important that we learn from these emergencies. So if things happen again, you don't let them get that far. Now, I can remember, it's going back to a low again, I can remember watching TV and my eyesight would go, and I thought, oh yeah. And then I'd test and I was low. So don't be a child. Take care of yourself. If you feel sick that you can't control it, maybe you need to go see your A doctor primary, B your endocrinologist, C you could contact your diabetic nurse, and 4 for really severe cases, go to the hospital. If you're able to get there driving, great. If you don't feel that well at all, call 911. Take care of you. Don't let diabetes control you. You control diabetes. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye now.